America, the land of opportunity, right? We believe in hard work, playing fair, and contributing our share. We pay our taxes, trusting the government to use that money responsibly. But what happens when that trust is broken? When the people we elect decide to line their own pockets? This is the ugly reality of government corruption. It's a betrayal of the public trust. While we struggle, some in Washington treat taxpayer dollars like their own piggy bank. It's time to shine a light on this corruption and demand better from our officials. Remember that time you had to skip a vacation because you couldn't afford it? Or the time you had to put off seeing the dentist because the bill was too high? Well, while you were making those tough choices, some in government were living large on your dime. We're talking about outrageous travel expenses, luxury accommodations, and extravagant parties, all paid for with your hard-earned tax dollars. Think about it, every dollar wasted on these frivolous expenses is a dollar that could have been used to fund vital public services like education, healthcare, or infrastructure. It's a dollar that could have made a real difference in the lives of ordinary Americans. This kind of wasteful spending isn't just unethical, it's downright insulting. It shows a blatant disregard for the struggles of everyday Americans, and a complete lack of respect for the very people they were elected to serve. It's time to hold these officials accountable for every penny they spend and demand transparency in how our tax dollars are being used. Inflation. It's the silent thief in the night, slowly but surely eroding the value of our hard-earned money. We see it every time we go to the grocery store, fill up our gas tanks, or try to buy a home. Prices are skyrocketing, and wages aren't keeping up. Meanwhile, what are our elected officials doing about it? Some seem content to ignore the problem, pretending it doesn't exist. Others offer empty promises and half-baked solutions. But the reality is, many Americans are struggling to make ends meet, and the government's inaction is making a bad situation even worse. Families are being forced to make impossible choices, between putting food on the table or keeping a roof over their heads. Seniors are struggling to afford their medications. Young people are delaying dreams of homeownership and starting families. This is the real-world impact of inflation, and it's time our leaders started taking it seriously. Section 4. A Tale of Two Americas, the wealth gap yawns wide. In America, we like to believe in the idea that anyone can make it if they work hard enough. But the reality is, the gap between the rich and the poor is wider than ever before. While CEOs and politicians are raking in record profits and enjoying lavish lifestyles, millions of Americans are struggling to stay afloat. This isn't just a matter of fairness, it's a threat to the very fabric of our society. When so much wealth is concentrated in the hands of so few, it creates a system rigged against the majority. It undermines our democracy, erodes social mobility, and fuels resentment and instability. It's time to address the root causes of this inequality, from unfair tax policies that favor the wealthy to stagnant wages and a lack of affordable housing. It's time to create an economy that works for everyone, not just those at the very top. Section 5. From home sweet home to no home at all, homelessness on the rise. Walk down the streets of any major American city and you'll see them. Men, women, and children living on the streets, their belongings crammed into shopping carts and garbage bags. Homelessness is a national crisis, a stain on the conscience of our nation, and it's getting worse. The causes of homelessness are complex, from mental illness and addiction to lack of affordable housing and job opportunities. But one thing is clear, our government's response to this crisis has been woefully inadequate. We need real solutions, not band-aid fixes. This means investing in affordable housing, expanding access to mental health and addiction treatment, and creating pathways to employment. It means treating our homeless population with dignity and compassion, not criminalizing them for their circumstances. We can do better. We must do better. Section 6. Conclusion. Time to clean house. Demanding transparency and accountability. The American people deserve a government that works for them. We deserve leaders who are accountable to their constituents. We deserve a system that is transparent and just. These issues require bold action and a commitment to change. It's time for the American people to reclaim their power, to hold their elected officials accountable, and to demand a government that truly represents their interests. We need to start by demanding transparency in government spending and voting for leaders who share our values. The future of our nation depends on it.